Shubhati sir, shall we start?
Just give me a cue when we will start, sir, and then...
Yeah, ma'am. I'm waiting for Pashupati sir to respond to us. Fronia, ma'am, you can take over.
Okay. A very good morning to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure, and I am humbled by this opportunity on this lovely morning that we're all able to meet on this platform for this eventful webinar. So I greet and extend my warm welcome to everybody who has joined us on the virtual platform and who are also watching this program live from the conclave at Goa and also across various parts of India. I once again welcome you all to this session. So before we begin, I'd like to thank the Almighty for giving us this opportunity, after which I would also especially like to mention a few names without whose support and constant encouragement all of these programs, PRCI is not a successful one. So I like to extend my warm welcome to Mr. M.B. Jairam sir, Chief Emeritus PRCI, and Dr. T. Vinay Kumar, National President of PRCI, Geeta Shankar ma'am, Director of YCC, and Ms. Chinmay Praveen, National Head for YCC. I welcome everybody on the board, and I also welcome all the participants and all the speakers who are here today to enlighten us in this webinar. So today's webinar is Successful Career Starts from Priorities, How to Land a Job in 90 Days. A topic that is most anticipated and something that's looked forward to most of the youth and everybody who wants to take a U-turn in their career. Because in today's context, well, we had an unexpected guest that came into our lives. That is not to mention the corona, and our lives changed drastically after that. And priorities, changing priorities in terms of managing our lives and managing and putting them across in the right way to find the right career paths and the opportunities that lie behind, ahead of us. It is very important to learn how to rightfully utilize our resources and get our education onto the right path and track. So I am only still a learner, so that is why, without taking much of your time, I would like to move ahead with this meeting, and I would like to give on to our first speaker for today, Mr. Ganesh. So here is a small introduction about Ganesh sir. So all of our speakers, the four of our speakers who are lined up for today's webinar, are most experienced people in their own accord, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to this meeting, Ganesh Aithal sir. So this is a small introduction about Ganesh sir. I'm sorry. Ganesh sir is a corporate trainer, and he is training people in the virtual world currently. He is the co-founder of a startup called GrowFluent Skill Development Private Limited, Mangalore, which is a center for career counseling and skill development. Ganesh sir, he has a master's degree in food analysis and quality assurance from Defense Food Research Laboratory, and he has a rich experience of over 22 years in the corporate world in the area of operations, recruitment, and training. And Sir is also a certified and licensed life skills facilitator from Life Skills University, an affiliate of Harvard University, USA. And he's also a certified global career counselor from University of California, Los Angeles. And he's a master practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming from NLP, Florida, USA. And also to add on, sir is very passionate about working with students, especially young individuals, and he strongly believes in the mission statement which his organization also takes forward, that is learn, grow, and be fluent in the skills you learn in life. So welcome again, sir. So I hand over this time to you now, sir. Over to you, Ganesh, sir.
Thank you so much, Fronia, for this wonderful introduction. It sounds like, I've done a lot in life, but no, I think, like you said, we all are learners. And I think the hunger for learning is something, which you see, but this is a virtual background, not that I read all this, which is there. Yeah. Now, thank you so much for introducing me. You said, I am, into career counseling, and I do a lot of career counseling. I work with a lot of students from high school till college to, so I also have students who walk up to me who have finished college and then try to figure out what they want to do. Also, I have, people who are working with organizations, started their career, but suddenly feel that that's not what they want to do in life. Okay, and they still, come back to me to say, sir, can you help me out, figure out what is that I should do in life? So, at that juncture, I do help them a lot, because, there's no harm in changing careers, because, if you don't do that, if you're not happy with what you are, then, you'll be stuck with that for life. I mean, we are not in the generation where it's difficult to change careers. I have changed my career. And if you see my background is food technology, but the time that I graduated from DRDO, there was a Kargil war. So when Kargil war hit, we didn't have campus interviews or campus recruitment happened. But I figured out my way at that point of time. But somehow I felt that the industry was not up to, this is way back in the late 90s. And the way back in the late 90s, the industry was not that great. And that's when I switched over my career into communications, because I was good in my communication skills. I was good with people. So I thought I need to enhance those skills. And that's when, I moved into a career where I could work with people. And that's what I've been doing. And right now, in the last few years, I mean, at least in the last 2 years, I would say, ever since, a good friend came into our life, I was wondering how to do training, because, I'm so used to, I'm a neuro-linguistic programmer, practitioner. So I believe in, working with people face to face. And also my counseling was always face to face. And that's when, things changed into getting into the virtual world, tried figuring out, how to work in the virtual world. And, I think this is a good platform, and it's a very safe platform, at least to a lot of people, because at least I know the students that I work with now. For example, I'm talking about the generation, do we call them Generation Y or Generation Z? Yeah, mostly it is Generation Z, yeah. And they are very comfortable in the virtual world. They'll do anything in the virtual world. So they feel that is safe. And I think I'm able to do a good job there by training people in the virtual platform and also doing career counseling in that. Now, coming back to the topic, landing a job in 90 days, my perspective as a career counselor, what I feel is, my question to a person who walks up to me, I'll also ask them, hey, this is a good thing, you want to land up a job in 90 days. But my question to him or her is, will you be able to retain that job for 90 days is my question. Because a lot of students that I know who are very good academically, who will land up a job, but they are not able to, sustain that job for more than 90 days. I've seen students who have got into some very good organizations, the training period itself, they were, not able to be successful. Now, the reason why they were not able to be successfully to complete that particular training is because they never focused on their self, or they never focused on their development. They only focused on academic thing, and academic thing, anybody can do it. But when they land up a job, they feel great that they've landed up with a job, but the way an institution treats you versus a way an organization treats you is different. You got to realize that, you are moving from being a student to being an individual to, start a career. So keeping that in mind, I would say, working with students, asking them a lot of questions, because I do a lot of career coaching, and I use the ICF model, which is International Coach Federation model, where I'm a certified person there. So I use certain techniques like powerful questioning. So when I start questioning people, that's when they start realizing whether they are on the right track or not. And that's what is important, because if students are not people are not questioning them, then they are just going in one rat race, which they feel that if their buddies are getting into a particular organization, they also need to get into, not realizing whether they are able to sustain that, or they will be able to survive that for a longer period. Yeah. Now, a few things that I would say, when one needs to look in for a job in 90 days, it's not a 90-day affair at all. Trust me, it is not a 90-day affair. I strongly, because I do orientation programs for students in colleges, where I always ask them to say, from the first year, you got to begin preparing for yourself. And if you're not doing that, that's when, you're not able to land up a job in 90 days, because 90 days is a too short period for you to prepare to get in for a job. My question, I ask them a lot of, powerful questions, when most of the time the students will be wondering, so what are you asking? But I would, since I've worked in organizations, I know what organization comes up to your campus will ask you questions, because I have sat in those platforms, or I've sat in those panels to ask questions. And that's exactly what, as simple as asking, what do you know about the company? They have no clue. They don't know, where this organization is located. What are they into? Is that company a product-based company? Is that company a service-based company? These are some basic things that they need to understand, which most students have no clue. And often that I see that they have issues with not able to figure out, not the most, easiest one is not figuring out whether they need to move out from their comfort zone. Now, what is a comfort zone? I studied in a particular college, and after finishing college, I want to stay back at home, stay at home. Basically, that staying at home and working is a culture that we have seen in the back in the past. But I would always say, step out of your comfort zone, go out from your home, develop yourself as an individual, start exploring yourself. Because the moment, you start saying, I need to be at home, sir, I have problems at home. Every home has got problems, but you need to know how to sort it out. As simple as, finding out, if I'm studying in Mangalore, if I want to look for a job, I need to step out of Mangalore, because Mangalore is a small city. Not saying that you won't get jobs here, but if you want to grow as an individual, you may want to step out of your comfort zone, and comfort zone is staying at home. Moving out of your comfort zone is taking a job in a bigger city. Now, for you to do that, you need to know whether you'll be able to acclimatize yourself in that new city. Are you able to manage with the weather of that particular city? Are you able? There are a lot of things that you need to do that. So for that, you need to do a lot of research. I would say students need to do a lot of research from their initial days. If you are talking about your dream job, come on, tell me what is that you know about your dream job? Just knowing the name of a company is not a dream job. A dream job has got a lot of things for you to work from, knowing what is the organization, what are they good at, what are the things that they do, will I be able to fit into that particular organization, will I be able to cope up, will I be able to learn a lot of new things. These are things which is important, not about getting into a job, just another job. You're just being average. just being average, will at some point of time will suck up your life, and you'll figure it out only when you are somewhere midway in your career and realizing that all your buddies have moved on and you're still stayed stuck. So not being harsh here, but I'm just giving you, reality of life, going through a lot of things in life, or going through that corporate career, knowing how people walk in, because I have worked with a lot of people who are just out of college. And I've, whenever I had a talk with them, I always had people come up to me, say things like, they have no idea why they have taken the job in the first place. And that's when I keep asking them, hey, do you want to go back home? And then, they have this thing saying, sir, can you tell, or, in the corporate, we don't never call sir. We always say by the first name. That's something which, most students, when I train them, I'll tell them, you call me by my name. It's okay, you can call me by my first name, because that's what you're being, if you want to land up a good job and you're working in an organization, you need to learn certain etiquettes of how to work with an organization. What are the things that you need to learn? Yeah. So there are a whole lot of things. If you start, talking about this, there's a whole thing, but given the time that, this is what I would say, Priscilla, I'm sorry, Fronia, do you have time? Do I have time? Yeah, some more time? You're on mute.
I think we can wrap this up in 2 minutes.
Okay, great. So, so if you ask me from a career counseling perspective, the first thing that I would say is, first identify what are your interests, because if you know what your interests are, you can develop abilities. How you can do that? There are a lot of career assessment. Not trying to market what I do, but I'm just trying to tell you that from the first year of your college, please get a career assessment done by a professional, a career counselor. And today there's a lot of, career assessments online. Not all are trustworthy, or not all are real. So you need to get into something which, it may be an investment. If you want to develop a, personality for yourself, you need to invest on yourself to find out what is your strength, what is your personality. Is your personality going to cope up with the kind of job you're going to take? These are basic things that I would say. Then start doing the research. Do the research of an organization, because it's important for you to know that. Like the way you did, not all, but at least few of them I know that I do career counseling with. Do some research about the college that they get into. If you think of, a basic question that is answered there is the best college that I want to get into. So I think, you can apply the same concept here, saying the best organization I want to get into. What is the work culture of an organization that I want to get into? Now, other things preparing, I think Prashanth, Dr. Prashanth would talk to you more about, what are the things from a campus perspective he would be able to give you, more info. Okay. With that, thank you so much, Fronia. Thank you everyone for giving the time, an opportunity for me to talk. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think that was a very perfect start, laying down the foundations to what our webinar was aiming to do today. Thank you very much again. So, because we started a few minutes beyond the time of what we actually scheduled to do, I'll take the friendly freedom of, rushing a little bit before I introduce the second speaker for today is none other than Dr. Prashanth himself, right? A very own friend of PRCI and all of us. So a very brief introduction about Mr. Prashanth. He is an academician and communication researcher. A passionate researcher, if I should add, and his research and training mainly focuses on health communication and developmental studies, a foundation which comes from umpteen number of projects which he has been undertaking. And to name a few, he was a fellow with the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, and he has also worked on various projects funded by the UGC State Knowledge and is also a part of the Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, and a project which was related to do with science for women, and another project by Media for Communication on radio mathematics. So a lot under the list. And currently, considering the pandemic times, he is working on the diffusion and growth of new media technologies and pedagogy with emphasis on the HEIs of Karnataka. And to add on to the list, sir has also published 2 books. So that is quite an eventful career in such a short while to accomplish. So without any delay, I'll hand over to Prashanth sir. Also a small note to all the participants. We have such a bright and rich, resourceful persons on the list. So I'd like to request you to hold your questions for the end. So we will have time for a Q&A session across the end when all the 4 speakers are done speaking. So I would request you to hold your questions, or you can also send them in chat already. Yes, over to you, Prashanth.
Thank you so much, Fronia, for such a wonderful introduction. And I wish to thank Ganesh also, because he made my life very simple by giving a good kickstart for the entire webinar. I remember a quote by Confucius. What he says is that choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. I feel this quote is very apt for this webinar, because I personally believe that if today's students choose a right course and they plan their career better, it's very easy for them to become what they aspire to be. And they don't need to take burden and struggles as they keep walking on their life. The problem is that they don't prioritize to discover self. As Ganesh was mentioning, okay, today somewhere we feel that education institutions are the place where it is going to get me a job. So that is what the attitude majority of the students who walk into any college, they find out what is the placement ratio, okay, how training has been done. So basically the questions will be completely focusing upon their future career. But my question would be, what is your passion? Have you ever questioned with you? So that would be the first thing which a student should think of before shortlisting a course, a college, or a career. Because if he is passionate about something, if he tries to work on those lines, it's very easy to start his career in a better way. See, many times what happens is that students, especially after going to the 6th semester, they think that, okay, I should have done that, I should have done this. They regret a lot. In the initial stages, they would have just wasted umpteen, opportunities which is on their way, and they would have ignored so many things that they would have not realized they're going to struggle in the coming days. Because once they go to 5th semester, 6th semester, when they look at the companies which they come down, and when they ask certain questions that what is your achievement beyond academics, what you have done, okay, what kind of skills you own, and what is the lapses they would have not figured out in the first 2 years of the course, 2 years or 3 years. So majority of the students, what do they do is that they try to prepare when they go to the 5th or 6th semester. So that's a major drawback. It's a setback for the students to decide where they're supposed to land upon. See, job searching is really an emotional roller coaster, I believe, because the moment you are on cloud nine for getting an interview invitation, the next moment you get a rejection. Obviously, there would be a lot of conjunction of your thoughts. You would be not able to understand that where things are going wrong, what you missed out. Okay, because today market is very, very tough competitive. Okay, you need to understand that today we need to be a little thankful to technology. They have made our life much more simple to get skilled ourselves with a lot of online digital courses. But still, they are supposed to realize that what courses, what is trending, what is going to be the future. So such kind of basic research, if they start from the beginning of the course during the graduation or post-graduation, it is easy for them to comprise and get to the right organization. As mentioned, it is not just right institution, right organization where they're supposed to land upon. See, usually many students, what do is that they tend to ignore the certificates, because they try to prioritize, they try to focus upon just the CGPA, which is going to be based on their curriculum. Beyond the curriculum, where I'm supposed to focus on certain certifications, which is going to be an value addition when somebody looks at my profile, when they say that, okay, let me shortlist this candidate based on the extra additional skills, what he wants, because just the syllabus is not going to, fetch them a better and professional job. We need to realize one more fact, that today, if a student says that whenever he just goes for an interview, I have my degree with a distinction or first class, it is not sufficient. People ask, what's beyond that? Okay, what is that something which you would have missed out during your course of time? So those things would help them to actually figure out where they're supposed to land upon. One important factor is that they're supposed to prioritize to plan for their future. See, once we start discovering ourselves, we should start thinking about what do you want to do in the future. You're supposed to sit down and contemplate. I'm sure that there would be mentors, teachers, parents, many people would give you guidance. But beyond everybody's guidance, at the end of the day, it's me, myself. I'm supposed to think what I'm supposed to focus upon. So your first job might be the most important job in your career, or it can be in your life, which determines which career path you take over. It all begins, okay, where if you try to start doing something which you love and passion, or if you're something passionate about that, if you try to take up the same profession, you will really enjoy throughout your life. But you're supposed to be very confident that are you choosing the right one based on the right skills which you own. That important decisions can make your life to be very fruitful and successful. See, today students, I mean, when they want to prioritize, I would suggest them, they're supposed to prioritize. First thing is that to discover themselves, what is their strength, what is their weakness. Many times I've seen students coming down to me at the end of the 6th semester asking, sir, if there is a question asked to me, what is the strength and weakness of mine, what I'm supposed to answer. I'm sure Ganesh should have faced many students asking this question to him before going for the interview. The fact is that if you are able to identify your strength and weakness, then your first step is ready to get into a successful career. Followed by, you're supposed to fight the hardships from the beginning of your course itself. If you try to ease in the beginning, you're going to struggle for the lifetime. So it's always recommended that you are supposed to decide, you're supposed to lay the proper strong foundation, which can help you to scale up yourself to such a standards that what organization look for. And you're supposed to take academics very seriously from the first semester. I mean, I just again want to mention, Ganesh, as you mentioned, it is very difficult to get into any industry today with a tough competition, and nobody can get into a job just with your degree certificates. And the competition is so fierce that to 90%, I mean, I just saw that around 78% of the students in the first interview, they fail. Okay, according to the statistics. And hardly today when there is opportunities which they find, which is very appropriate for their career, if they want to be shortlisted, they just look for what extra skills you own. So skilling yourself, taking academic very seriously from your first semester. And if you try to ensure that you try to have some struggle, hardships in the beginning stage itself, and if you try to discover your passion, you can have a very successful future. With this note, I wish to hand over the session to you.
Thank you very much, Prashanth. I think very important tips to note down there from an educational perspective, as we all know that no building gets constructed in a day. Like, though we know, okay, it's with the right skill set and with the right path and somebody to lead you on, it is definitely easy to get a job in 90 days. But I think the understructure and the pillars for your foundation have to be laid from the very beginning of your education, at least I think from the graduation. And it's very important for all of us to assess what we really want to do and what we're really good at doing. Because both of them are different things. I mean, we must have encountered a lot of people who are good at something but end up doing something else because of various reasons. But when we're very strong on achieving a goal and going to a certain location and destination, I think our bit of hard work must go in. So on that note, again, thank you very much, Prashanth sir. So moving on, I quickly move on to our third speaker for the day, that's Smitha ma'am. So on a very humorous note, when Prashanth sir forwarded me Smitha ma'am's introduction, I was taken aback, and I thought to myself, oh my God, this is going to take a long time, because such an experienced person, ma'am, we're very delighted to have you amongst us. So, instead of going through everything, I'll just put it this way. I think ma'am is an accomplished person in her career. To mention a few, senior quality management system, she's the lead auditor. She's been a lead auditor, and her specific areas of interest and expertise would be environmental management system for institutions and organizations, occupational health and safety, corporate social responsibility and sustainable development, and training quality management systems, and quality assurance. And I think more beyond all what I saw in the CV that was put forward to me, I think ma'am is a very enthusiastic person who has a heart in training young individuals to take on the right career path and to help them achieve what they're doing, right? And ma'am has done her BE in electronics, and she has also been certified as the senior auditor and lead auditor in training course by IRCA and RABQSA. So a lot of technical terms and very prestigious universities to put there. That's how I'll put it to, just encompass all of ma'am's achievements. And it's a very great opportunity for us today to have you amongst us, ma'am. So without wasting much time, I'll hand over the session to you to listen from you. Thank you very much.
Good morning, and thank you, Fronia. No, there is nothing complicated about me. I love working with learners. That is what I would like to say. And in the process, I also practice learning. So for everyone, I'm also a student. I have just now completed my final year exams for Masters in Business Law with National Law School, University of India. So that is to lighten the complete session. Okay. It was very wonderful to listen to Ganesh talking about how important it is for us. Yes, learners. I'll be addressing everybody on the platform today as learners and students to start very early. And also Prashanth telling us that how serious you have to be with your studies and all the aspects of the student life. Thinking about, the students, as I mentioned, are in different phases of life. Like there are some students who are very sure about what they want to do. And there are also some who are also, they want to switch their careers. This is what I come across when I work with organizations as a management consultant. I see that there we have this option where we can help you transit. I'm doing the SWOT. That is what Prashanth was mentioning about, identifying your strengths, weaknesses, and the threats, what you have, and the opportunities, what are created in the current scenario. So doing a SWOT once in a while or regularly is very important for all of you. And to become the Confucian, I think that is to find a flow. That is a flow. That means when you finish a job and when you finish a day working or doing the job, you have to be very calm in the sense, your night, you should have that night baby sleep. So that is when you would have found your flow in your work, right? Many of us have this, like how successful will I be in my job, and how, will I be able to enjoy my job? I will be earning a lot. There is no doubt about it. But the students have this in mind. Will I be able to enjoy my life also with my earnings, right? Yes, that is where you have to find the flow. And as I said that in many occasions, we have this this particular, we are in a fix. We don't know. Have we chosen the right, domain, sector, industry to work with? I might have studied it. I might have done a lot of, I have a friend who has been an engineer all his life. He's a service engineer with medical equipments. And this pandemic, he got to learn a lot about the IoT, because suddenly everything went virtual, and IoT, which was, lagging behind, suddenly came into the forefront. And, he studied himself through 1 year of this COVID-19 pandemic, and very successfully he would transit from the service sector, which is where it is completely a physical one, where you have to go to the client's place to do the servicing, to the IoT, where most of the work will be done virtually. So this is a kind of scenario I would be like, trying to talk to all of you here. And this could be found for anybody at any moment. Students should not think that I have studied this and I have to pursue only this. No, nothing like that. Yes, I would just try to give you a small glimpse into the sector dynamics, what's happening as of now, right? 2020, 21, 22. This is the sector dynamics, what is happening. And here, what happens is there is not only a growth, that is, there is also a contraction in industries, what we have to keep in mind, right? So we have to find the best wave to surf through this. Okay, so we all know that there is no doubt the growth in the STEM sectors, that is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is on the forefront, right? There is no doubt about it. But if you're an engineer, scientist, or a mathematician, and you are having some kind of a technical education or a background, you are actually well placed, right? But don't worry, they are somebody who will be working on the backhand side, right? They are the developers, they are the designers, and they are the makers. But who will present it to the bigger world? Right? There comes the other sector, that is the non-technical sectors. And here, as the platform would be having more of the non-technical sector students. So what are these options I could find in this STEM scenario would be your question, right? Right. So some of the areas which, according to the World Economic Forum, which is currently running on forefront, is the artificial intelligence, yes, robotics, financial services, where you have e-commerce and blockchain technology taking over, healthcare, professional services, social media, sustainability, renewable energy, and the climate change, of course. So these are the areas where you have to find your foothold, right? And here comes the non-step, where you can leverage your talents, the non-technical students. One option, one of the main area is a customer service sector. Every organization will have customer, be it a non-profit or a profit, right? It will have its customer, and you have to satisfy their needs as an organization. So here comes, when satisfying the needs comes communication skills, problem solving, and relationship maintenance. These are the critical skills what we have to focus upon in the customer service sector. So we add here empathy and emotional intelligence, which are very, very important when you're dealing with a customer. Then comes sales and marketing professionals. For every company which sells goods or services, you need a very strong business development teams. And their abilities will lie in marketing and selling the technology, and also finding the brand foothold, and also finding what more, brand expansion areas you have to find out, right? So here you do not require any ability to design, develop, or make these products or the software applications. What you need basically is an understanding of the application, features and benefits of it, which is needed, along with the ability to convert the prospects, right? The prospects into the successful customers. So sales, is completely about relationship management. Once a customer comes into your kitty, then you have to make sure that he or she is a continual business partner in your business, right? Understanding their needs, and there will be problems. Once a customer comes into your, it becomes your customer, then you will have a day-to-day interaction with them, and also you will have to deal with them with on a day-to-day basis, solving their problems. And then the COVID actually has hastened the industry 4.0 scenario in our country. That is, now there is a huge market for virtual business managers, because the companies have gone partially online, and they would like to have these managers who can understand the physical aspect and also the online realities in handling the customers. So there would be a lot of financial and interpersonal relation realities of these virtual operations. And these virtual managers would have to be well equipped with the information technology, information security, human resources. And in current scenario, people are changing jobs, and they are not going physically to report to an organization to change jobs or take up their new employment. Everything is happening virtual. So in that case, how it becomes very difficult for the human resource, handlers or management professionals to understand these virtual new recruits, right? So this is one of the areas, virtual business managers. And then, of course, coming to the human resource department, we have a very huge demand for training and development. And we have to understand, the people and the culture, keeping up with the culture of the organization. Now it is very difficult. So how do you impart that? How do you inculcate that culture virtually to the employees? And here comes some new roles which are called organizational development specialists. These are called, very very complicated and sounds very high profile, right? But yes, this is simple. It's people's management. So these organization would be requiring right people with the right set to get into this mode here. Adapting to new technologies, because technology is changing very fast nowadays. New options are being, explored by everybody. So the younger generation, that is the student community as of now, as they are already digitally native, that is, they are very good in handling the digital platform. This kind of a transition will not be a big problem, is my take. Right. Apart from this, as I was speaking about this, it is bringing in a lot of innovation. So to say that now there will be a big demand for innovation managers, technology and market development will require these ideation and innovation managers who will lead the team, right? Technical people will be there in the team, but you would be leading the team. So these are some of the aspects which will open up, the arena for the students. What I have seen as of now is that students, there are some who have taken up the humanities studies, right? Who are doing their graduation or post-graduation on it. And data science and artificial intelligence is taking over. So you may think that, how will I fit in here? No, it is not rocket science. Yes, of course, it is not at all. And you can actually take up a lot of courses are being offered in data science and artificial intelligence, where you can try your hand at it and learn it. In my experience with the industries, I'll give you the small examples where I have seen a non-technical MA in history person being a plant manager, where the plant produces, manufactures wiring harness for huge automobile structure, that is the Benz and the Volvo. She is MA in history. She handles the complete plant, and she knows the in and out of the inspection, because in the automotive industry, it is very stringent rules are there. It is a zero defect industry, right? So that's the kind of people I see in the industry. And I also see in the same industry, women, middle-aged women, doing the wire harnessing, that is manufacturing the wire harnessing, and they are unlettered. That means they cannot read an inspection report, which is very complicated. So I mean to say that this world is full of opportunities, and you can explore anything at any point of time. This has been my experience. And we have lately seen a software engineer at the age of 40 becoming a doctor in MS Ramaya Medical College. She graduated as a doctor. So anything is possible. So you can become Confucius and find your flow. For this, one thing I want the students to remember and keep in mind is taking internships very carefully and very seriously. because this is where you will get to work with the industries from day one, from the first semester, attach yourself to an industry and understand how the work happens there so that you can find the flow, right? Finding a flow after the final year is very difficult. So this internship, sector, which is opened up for the students, which was not available for us. We used to do our internship at the end. That is the last semester we would do it. We were given that option. Whereas now the internship is opened up from the first semester onwards. Do not take it lightly. This has to be taken very seriously because India lacks skilled workers. We have a lot of knowledgeable people around with a lot of double degrees and triple degrees and varied of degrees and doctorates, but we do not have skilled workers. So for India to reach what we reached yesterday as nearly a great, enlightened, vaccinated nation, we need skilled workers. So I call upon all the students to pick up internship very seriously. And now comes, you have so many skills and so many things, but it is very important for you to market yourself, not marketing others' products. You need yourself to market because according to the industry standards, 80% of the jobs are filled, they never appear on the public domain, right? They never appear, they are never advertised, they are filled up. So how do we achieve that? I think Manasi is the best person to show you the way forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. On that note, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am. So I think very, very insightful notes on what the market and what the world has to offer to us. Like ma'am rightfully said that this is a place of endless opportunities, and I'd like to add on that this is a place of endlessly changing opportunities. And I think it's we always have to be abreast with what's latest, what's new around us, and pick and own those skills, because it's not just necessary that every time the markets are very feasible and they're flexible to adapt to what we have to offer as individuals. Sometimes, or most of the times at least, right now in the current scenario, it's very important that we flex ourselves to the market needs and opportunities. So on that note, we will move on to the last speaker of the day, that's Manasi ma'am. Welcome to the webinar, Manasi ma'am. A very honored to have you on board. So a quick introduction about Manasi ma'am. So she has a decade of experience in various genres of corporate communication, including digital presence, strategy and planning, social media presence, web and Facebook analytics, digital marketing and advertising, internal communication, marketing communication, media relations, public relations, celebrity management, event management, training, and loyalty program management. I think that's quite a long list of communication relations. And ma'am has done her master's in communication.
Hey, thanks for the introduction, Fronia. And you can please call me Manasi. I would prefer that. Okay.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Yeah, my video just went. My net is having an issue. So yeah, thank you very much for being on board, ma'am. So I'll hand over the time to you, and let you and your talking do it now. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks, Fronia. And please call me Manasi. I would prefer it that way. I would prefer my students also calling me that way. Okay, great. So let's start with this. When, as Smitha, Ganesh, and Prashanth just mentioned, take your career seriously. Of course, probably in your 5th or 7th standard, you will not know what you want to do. But if you want to be a bus conductor, you should know that you should have the stamina to stand 8 hours a day. You should know your maths really well, and you should be able to balance in a bus without holding anything. Very simple, right? So whatever you want to aspire for, look forward to it. Just gear up for that. You should know what you need to be. Okay. So let's start with that. And we spoke about Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, and trust me, today I pity the Gen Z. I really pity the Gen Z, not from a perspective of everybody saying, "Oh my God, what are they? They do not have the skills. They're not serious about anything." Trust me, they're very serious. They really know what they want in their career. They really know. And unlike previous generations, I don't see them to compromise. They're like, I am interested in gaming. I want to look at my mobile 18 hours a day. And I will make the 2 lakhs. Whether I'm an engineer or not, I will make the 2 lakhs. Okay. So I love the determination, and look at the way they find a way. Okay. So it's really beautiful. So why are we having this discussion when Gen Z knows what they want? Is because yes, what we feel is, one is not everybody is able to find what they want, and two, as something that's rightly mentioned, you start thinking after 2 years, is this really what I want to do in my life? So if you don't want that happening, I think it's a great webinar to be a part of. So let's start with this. Gen Z, it is going to be very tough to find those jobs, to do things right. Simply because I remember this, okay? Today, people are learning digital marketing, people are learning social media, and I've been into the consulting field of social media for 10 years now, okay? This is the field, this is a big deal right now, and that is what everybody is getting into. But look what you're getting into, okay? Today, the generation that is there, your graduates are trying to learn digital marketing. You look at a 4-year-old today. I mean, 11 years ago, okay, 11 years ago, my son, he wanted to go out to a restaurant, and we all said, no, it's not open. Don't worry about it. We can't take you there, okay? You know what he did? He picked up Google. He switched on the mic. He said, Vidyarthi Bhavan timings. For those who don't know, Vidyarthi Bhavan is a dosa place in Bangalore, okay? He said Vidyarthi Bhavan timings. And you know what Google came back and said? Vidyarthi Bhavan is now open. He's like, see, it's open. This happened 11 years ago by a 4-year-old. And today, graduates want to learn digital marketing, and today 4-year-olds are even more faster, right? So you have to understand these things, that, upskilling is everything. If you really want a quick buck, if you really want that money, you better add value to the company that you want to go to. You add 10x value, they will give you 1x. Okay, but you should know how to add that value. Let's start with some basic things. Soft skills. As much as we want to say your marks are very, very important, I have seen a lot of Fortune 500 companies not ask you for your certificates. In the last 10 years, nobody has asked me, hey, where did you graduate from? Acha, did you do this paper? And what was your marks? Nobody asked me. I'm so sorry to say this. And nobody cares. Nobody really cares. But of course, marks are definitely important. But today, if you have the skills, I think marks will still be your second priority. If you have the skills, they'll take you on board. Maybe they will not take you on board as an employee, but you will be a consultant. Okay, so ensure that you have your skills right. Let's start with online etiquette. Like if you have online classes, okay, you have to be prepared. Get to a place where your internet connection is ready, and you are prepared for it. And please dress up. You're still in a class, right? You can't wake up and switch on your camera in your bedroom. No, that's not going to work. Take it seriously. I understand that it is online. It's a great way that you don't have to commute, but it still requires you to be there and to ensure that you present yourself well. Okay. So things that really stop you from getting the kind of job that you need is laziness. I think everybody here has mentioned start early. The one, I mean, all of us know we want to start early, right? The one thing that stops us from starting early is let's have fun. Yeah, 3 years of college, just 3 years of high school, dude. Second PUC, 14 months you have to study if you really want things. Let's just enjoy the first 6 months. Anyway, there is so much time to do. Anyway, tuitions are there. The precious time that you lose is the precious time you will pay for 10x. Okay, you lose 1 month here saying that I will not study. Probably, I mean, you're supposed to study every day. You're a student. That's the only job you have, right? 1 month you don't study, 10 months you don't get a job. It's very simple. Okay, it's as simple as that. All right. That's the laziness. Secondly, look at the kind of company that you're in as a student or as somebody who's a working professional. All right. So I understand that, oh my God, if you have friends, you've already studied so much in college, and then you have friends who will come back and discuss the same thing. Oh, good Lord, it gets to you. How can they are all geeks? We don't want to be in that company. But imagine this, if you really are into gaming, Okay, and you have friends who are into gaming. Okay, something like a COD. For those who don't know, I mean, COD is not cash on delivery. It's Call of Duty. It's a new game. Okay, when you discuss that with your friends and you're completely into it, why 8 hours? You're doing 8 hours of gaming, and you do another 10 hours with your friends where you're talking about, hey, did you check out the new sniper that came in? Did you check out this new feature? I mean, it's so exciting, right? So when I say company, choose company that will give you what you want. If you're in engineering and you're not liking it, choose the company that you want to do something with, right? That's what means. So get away with laziness. Choose the right company. Time management. Oh, good Lord. I am an adjunct faculty in a couple of colleges, okay, and my classes start like exactly to the minute, and they stop exactly to the minute, okay. Even when I give those breaks, my breaks are like 3 minutes, 70 seconds, 10 seconds break, those kind of things. Time management becomes important because that's what the corporate expects you. It's as simple as that. Okay, students who have gone out, they're like, ma'am, I wish we had listened to your 10 seconds break, because that's what we're given in the corporate, okay? I'll tell you how time is calculated in the corporate, okay? We are, let's say, about 100 participants right now, okay? We don't talk for a minute. I have lost 100 minutes. You all wasted your time. I wasted my time. It's 100 minutes that we have lost. You know what can be accomplished in 100 minutes? Oh, the stock market could crash for all that you know, right? And an economy could crash for all that you know. So that is time management. So learn about respecting your own time. I'm precious. I'm not going to waste my time on something that doesn't give me something. And I don't think you should too, right? So it comes from respect. Time management comes from respect. The fact that I respect myself, and time is money today, and I think you should too. Okay, so that's the time management part of it. Okay, so these are some soft skills and something that now let's come to the social media bit. Trust me, I do workshops where we guarantee placements in less than 15 days, less than 30 days. Okay, as I said, those workshops are meant for people who have already done 10 years of hard work. So it's not very difficult to get a job in 15 or 30 days if you've done 10 years of work. So all these things that promise you, hey, let's do, I'm going to get you a job, or any course that promises you that, you know, placement is guaranteed. Remember that if you're not good enough, they can't get you any placements for starters. And if they get you placement, I think I'll give you 30 days before you can quit, or they fire either of it. Okay, so let's start with how we do that. How do we actually get into that world, in the social media world? First, build your portfolio. Okay, who is Manasi? Who is Prashanth? Who is Ganesh? Who is Smitha? Okay, let's say I am somebody who's recruiting. I am not going to come and ask you, hey, Prashanth, can you please tell me something about yourself? I will do that once there is a shortlisting happens, and once he's a part of it, right? So what will I do? I will Google him. Okay, and God, I want all of you to please go back and Google yourself. God alone knows what's going to come up, okay? 15 years ago, when you had gone out with your friends with all that attire, standing somewhere and taking a photograph, and they tagged you on Facebook 15 years ago, that's what is going to come up, okay? And I, as a recruiter, is going to look at you that way. I'm like, I'm not, it doesn't give me a date that, you know, this was 15 years ago. I think, this is Prashanth, this is Smitha, this is Ganesh. You know, I'm not, this is not a world where you're patient enough to make your judgments. Okay, somebody giving you a second chance doesn't happen. And you know what's the worst part? It's not even the recruiter who's looking for it. There is a machine. There is a tool which will do this for you. Okay, there is a tool. They just input your name. It will go to all the social media. It will go to Google, collect all your information based on the content that is there, whether people have tagged you in a photograph or whether you have put up the content for last 15, 20 years, whatever that you put up on the internet. Okay, it is going to consolidate all that. Quickly, it will give an analysis. Is this person competent for the job or not? I really wish the humans could do this, but it's not possible. You look at any job on LinkedIn, 4,000 people apply. How do you expect the HR to even look at those 4,000 resumes? Everything is automated. Okay, so let's be clear on what we have as a digital footprint on the online world. That's the first thing that we need to look into. Okay, so build your portfolio. Showcase what you want them to see. There are techniques to do that. There is SEO, there is optimizing your profiles, especially the LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. Be everywhere. Definitely be everywhere, because that's where the jobs are. Trust me. Okay, that's where the jobs are. Okay. Secondly, search for jobs that you want to get into. put up content that is relevant to the job. Okay, 4,000 applications on LinkedIn for one job. Okay, how will you tell the recruiter that, I don't think a tool should look at my portfolio? You should. All you do is put up content that is relevant to that job, saying, I know this. Okay, I am the person you need to look into. Tag the recruiter. Please DM the recruiter saying that this is what it is. Okay, this takes extra efforts. It's called as networking. Yes, we have separate workshops for that, and you should just go to the internet and look up. But I suggest you look it up. There's plenty of content for this. Okay, so just look into those jobs and ensure that you have the right networking, and ensure that you put up the right content. So to conclude this, I want to tell you a story of how I wanted, I kind of landed up with the project that I'm doing right now. So I wanted to, work with a B2B company that's into the AI space. So when I said something like this, everybody asked me, so now you'll do engineering? I'm like, no, I don't like math. Okay. They're like, yeah, but ML requires you to that. I'm like, what is ML? They're like, you want to do AI and you don't know what is ML? That's machine learning. I'm like, okay, I get that. Okay, do you know anything about NN? Like, what is NN? Neural networks. Okay, I'm going to learn all of that. That's great. But how do I get into a job there? Because everything is about software engineers. I hardly find people from an arts background. I come from an arts background. Okay, I hardly find people come to that field. Okay, forget Google, forget Facebook and all of that stuff. I mean, I want to work in companies like that, but it's all so much of software. So I'm like, how do I get into that? Okay. So I was working on this. I looked at the top 5 companies in the US, in Australia, and UK, because those are the companies which really make a mark. And then I started looking at Indian companies. No jobs, no projects, nothing. Okay, everything is to do with software. All the companies to do with software. Okay, that's when I think Prashanth referred me to somebody who was doing a project on the rural side. I'm like, rural side? I want to look at ML, and that is rural side. There was one person who was a trustee in that NGO who also handled one of the top 5 companies in North America, which is into AI. My only job was put in efforts for 6 months to impress the person, and bang. After that 6 months, which was probably from October last year to March this year, I approached him in April, said I have the capabilities. And he was like, great, so let's start working. So today I have a project from an AI company, which is in the top 5 in North America as a corporate communicator. Okay, see the connection. I mean, it has nothing. I had to do rural employment for 5-6 months before I could impress somebody that I can do something, but it worked. And how did I know the trustee was there? Via social media. How did the trustee know that I'm kind of good at communication? Is because I tagged them in the kind of content and posts that I put up, right? So this is what social media can do for you. Focus on personal branding. It's not just the celebrities who need it. Everybody needs it. As a student, as a working professional, as a CXO level member, everybody needs it. Okay, so I think I'll conclude with that. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Jairam. Thank you, Geeta, and thank you, Lata, for being around. And today I think I am what I am for the kind of inputs they give us. So just 1 minute, I'm going to take why I think everybody should be a part of PRCI or YCC. Okay, YCC is a free platform for you to get anywhere in India. You want placements anywhere in India. People here have that connection. Trust me with this. They'll get you internships. They mentor you to be there to do what is required. That's how I have found my way in this field. I've been associated with them for a very long time now. I'm able to talk to students. I'm able to go to colleges. All of this. This is the platform if you really want to be on top of the world. There are people here who have connections like you will not find them anywhere. Okay, and it's free. You can just go walk up to anybody. Okay, anybody. There are corporate communications people, there are PR people, and these are people who work in very, very big companies, leading companies. So imagine you just walk up to them and they give you free advice on, oh, you want to get into this company? This is all that you need to do. I know somebody there. Let me just put you across. So it's really easy. I think this is the network you need to be in. That is networking. If you feel, as I said, networking is a part of how to get your jobs or how to keep your jobs. I think this is a great platform. This is a great network. With that, I conclude. Fronia, all over to you, please.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I think we couldn't have asked for a better concluding speaker. I think putting everything together uh, done a very, very great job. As ma'am mentioned, the importance of networking is it's so important that we all learn how to network and learn how to network well with the platforms that are in use today. Like back in the day, maybe networking just went your way, how you communicated with your interviewer or the people around you. But I think with the competition today, where kids are, with the skill sets that people are learning right from a very, very young age of 4 to 5 years, kids are learning coding. 6-year kids, they're getting into learning how to do programming and all of that. I think it's high time all of us need to amp up our game and not just with our skill sets, but the right way to put across what we are. Marketing ourselves and selling ourselves in this industry, which is where there is so much of competition, and doing it the right way. It's what we all need to learn. Thank you, Manasi ma'am, for all those wonderful insights into and your bit of experience into how to get away with get things done, right? And on a concluding note, I like Mansi ma'am has already given her, I think, final piece of advice to her. So I'll give a minute to Ganesh sir, Smitha ma'am, and also Prashanth to just give a final word to the students, learners, to everyone. Ma'am, let's begin with you, Smitha ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
One thing what I would like to stress upon is that what I have seen in industries, that is when we come to technical aspects, is yes, the technical industries are on the forefront and all the rest of us are supporting them, right? This is the scenario as of today. So what I see in them is that they are very good in what they make, but they do not know how to showcase themselves. This is where the public relation aspect comes into picture. They don't know how to communicate it to the rest of the world what good they are doing. This is currently the scenario with the startups. The startups require a lot of PR. They need it from day one. From investment point of view, they need it from day one. And there are many young, bright minds which are doing great work. So, but they are not being, they're not getting the limelight or the right kind of publicity. So this is where our public relations students can look into. They are typically, most of them look into the high profile advertising jobs. Yes, I agree. There is a lot of glitter and, limelight over there, but the real satisfaction comes, I feel, that when you are with that person who is creating something and making something which will make a big difference to everybody's life. That is the innovators, the startups. So this is one area where you can concentrate and you can start interning with them from day one, because they are totally lost when it comes to communication. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ganesh sir, yes, one piece of advice from you.
Okay, thank you, Fronia, once again. So if you ask me a closing note for this, first thing is getting out of your comfort zone is very, very important for you. Reaching out to people as much as you can, reaching out to the right set of people who can help you. Now, you see a lot of people who, tag themselves for a lot of unwanted reasons. You don't want to be tagged with them. You want to be tagged with, as a student, you need to be, start building your profile to know, like what Mansi said, you need to build content for yourself, or for them even to look up to you to say, hey, let me look at this profile. This sounds very interesting. Is there something that I can look in for? So what are the things in your student life that you could do is important, as simple as, building a profile for yourself. What are the community activities that you do? What are the extracurricular things that you're good at that you could build yourself? And what are the other, additional skills that you could, pick up? Because that is important, what Prashanth mentioned very clearly. Just, your degree, any university can give you. But, your skills to, find that particular job, you need to get those certifications in place. And trust me, getting some additional certifications can land you a good job. And today, thanks to the COVID situation that we're in, there are whole lot of things that for you to do. But first thing is know what are the keywords that you need to put in Google to find a search for a particular program that you're looking at. Because when you look into certain organizations, they will clearly mention in their job description what are the kind of roles that they're wanting to hire. Now, as a fresher, definitely you can stand an opportunity unless you know what are those keywords in that particular job description that you need to highlight and start looking for and start preparing yourself on that. And I think if you do that, the rest of the things will fall in place. Just a matter of getting out of your comfort zone, just move out from the place we are and get into a place where you can actually develop your personality. And it's all good for you, because end of the day, being just with parents can be great, but you cannot be with them for all through your life. Trust me, in certain situations you have to step out. Only then you'll know what is life, and that is important for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, I think one last speaker, Prashanth. Yes, let's hear from Prashanth. Prashanth, you're on mute.
Thank you, Fronia. After all three stalwarts talking, there is nothing more to say, but I just want to add a couple of statements. Somewhere we need to remember that educational institutions are not factories which would manufacture machines. Okay, they try to build intelligence. Intelligence does matter, but it's the effort and persistence that matters and helps you in a long term to be a successful person, career, and have a successful life. With this note, I just want to close.
Thank you very much, Prashanth. Very crisply said and rightly said. I think we could not have asked for a better panel to lead this session for today. We had insights right from how to do our foundation right, how to strengthen it, and then we had a 360-degree perspective of what the markets are like today and how is it that we bridge the gap between what we have to offer and what the opportunities around us are. And concluding, Smitha ma'am and Manasi also spoke of how to market ourselves, and though we have the skill set, though we are very well prepared for the opportunities around us, it's very important that appearance and how you actually look as a package when somebody Googles you out, when somebody tries to look out for you on the social media spaces. That's very important in today's context. So thank you very much, everyone. On a final note, we did have time for questions, but I think the speakers were very, very clear and precise on what to do and how to do. And I think if people have questions, they'll have specific questions. I mean, I think a lot of them are going to come up to all the speakers and say, okay, this is my skill set. Where do I go now? How do I land a job? I think you have a big homework to do. People are definitely going to reach out to you. And as Manasi rightly said, all of the people at PRCI are very much, they are welcoming to answer our queries. So I think we can personally connect and, get those queries clarified. But otherwise, I do not have any specific questions on the chat box here. There's a lot of appreciation for all the speakers flowing. So thank you very much. Again, on a concluding note, I'll extend my vote of thanks, beginning off with Mr. M.B. Jairam, our Chairman Emeritus of PRCI, Dr. T. Vinay Kumar, National Head for PRCI, and Geeta Shankar ma'am, and also Ms. Chinmay, National Head of YCC, and all those people, Prashanth and everybody who has been monitoring this session and who are extending their back-end support to make this event live webinar session happen. And thanks to the technology that we are all able to meet on a virtual platform despite our physical inabilities to meet at one ground. And a big hi to everyone who are all watching this session from Goa. And also I'd like to congratulate everyone, because there was an eventful event yesterday and there were a lot of awards given away to members from PRCI and people from various industries and organizations. Congratulations to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to take this opportunity of presenting you this insightful webinar. I think something that everybody is looking, not just youngsters who are trying to land into a job, but also people who are established and who want to get their careers right again. So this was a very, very meaningful seminar that gave us a lot of insights into career and deciding our paths and how to assign our priorities, right? So thank you very much to all the speakers once again and all the heads at PRCI. On that note, I think I've not missed anyone. Just in case if I'm missing out anyone, please excuse me for any inabilities or any shortcomings from my end. Thank you very much. I wish we all use the opportunities that we have around us. We are all battling out a very difficult situation, I must say. I think around the tunnel, somewhere deep down, far away, we can see a small ray of hope, and I think that's what we're all holding to and going on, because the situations around us are very dark and gloomy, and the monsters out there, we really don't know what we are battling out with. But I think people and relations are how we are developing our relations with people. That is what matters most, because people are standing up for people, and after our careers, or I must say before our careers, before money, before everything, I think we are holding on to each other, and I think we're going the right way. So all the best and good luck to everyone on that. Wishing everybody to stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, folks.
See you. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Prashanth. Thanks, Fronia. Thanks,
Thank
Manasi.
you,
Thanks,
sir.
Smitha, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, folks.
Thank you.
And have a great day ahead. Hey, happy
Yes.
weekend.